and coated, etc. And for you to use this OHP, you need to use certain colors. You cannot use a lot of colors inside one slide. Whether you need to to type in black with no background, or black on color, and this color, if you want to use black, you need to use certain colors. For example, here, as we can see, black on yellow. It could be the colors that you need to use should be balanced. All right. And this machine right here is the one that we have used before to print our materials. We cannot use the normal printers to print our materials in our slides. This machine is the transparency maker. And some of the disadvantages or principles while using the OHP: one transparency, one idea. Because I need to separate my work before I use the OHP. So if I have one idea, I need to put it only in one slide. And you need to be very simple, very clear. Your fonts that you are going to use needs to be very big and clear to use. That's why only one slide to cover one idea. And this is here for the title, not less than 24. See? Content not less than 14, to be clear for the audience. And for the colors, as I said, you need to make sure the color are balanced so that it will be clear for your audience to watch. Here are some examples of the colors: yellow, black, blue, and white, black. And this is actually the technique of the OHP. It's no longer used nowadays. All right, so it's just only for your information. And for the slide design, you need to keep the number of words to absolute minimum. As I mentioned, you are not allowed to put actually so many words in one slide. And then if you do so, if you put so many words, so many more than one idea, it will disattract the student, and the whole thing will be, for nonsense. So you need to minimize the number of words, minimize the use of sound, and so on. And this is actually for the recommended font that you should use in your presentation. Make sure to read the slides carefully, guys, because the final exam questions is multiple choice, and it could be very critique. The question could be very critique. For example, here in the font, you need to understand the font, the size, the name of the font, the color of the font, and so on. In this slide design principles. So if you want to do well in the final exam, make sure to read the slides, all of them, all topics. You need to read the slides carefully. And for the background, you need to make sure your slide presentation, the background is light colored, not so many colors to, make your idea clear to understand. Busy wallpaper backgrounds can be distracting. Don't use so many pictures in your presentation. And one of the technique to use the background, dark text on light background. As I mentioned, if you are using a white background, always go with the black text or blue text. If you are using, for example, a yellow background, you can go blue text. Make sure you are using a constructed colors. And make sure to use the appropriate images or graphics that you are going to use inside your class. And this is here for the font. The most recommended type, whether it's sans serif here or Arial, Times New Roman, which are the very common, the standard font types that comes with Microsoft Word. Don't go for that kind of weird, stylish fonts that comes with the computer, to make sure your presentation is very easy to use. And for the size, make sure it's 24, not less than that, 24 or larger. And for the color, as I mentioned, you need to make sure the color is contrast with the background. Do not use a green background and then baby green for the text. It will be vanished. All right. Here are some suitable fonts that you can use. And here are some examples for the fonts that you need to make sure you do not use. And for the contrast colors, for example, here, as we can see, black text on the yellow background is very clear to read. All right. And on the other hand, if you put green text on red background, it's very poor to read if you have a big class. So you need to make sure to read all these colors. It might be there will be a question about this slide design technique. And for the background, here, if you see this picture, this is a very bad example of using background. The background is very, very busy with a lot of flowers and so on, and I cannot actually read the text. So you need to make sure the background is solid with a light color, and the text is the opposite color of this color that you've used in the background. And always, when you want to design your presentation, make sure to write only the headlines we all can read. All right? If you want to give a presentation, do not copy and paste the whole paragraph. Only put one line, the headline only. Read it and then explain to your audience. Your audience can read. So what is the purpose of your presentation if you just copy and paste the whole thing? So make sure to keep the number of words to absolute minimum. Minimize bells and whistles. Overuse of eye-catching features is distracting. Minimize use of sound only if enhanced presentation. Some of the students, when they want to present, they use a lot of effects, transitions between each slide, and then they put sound effects, beep, boop, boop. This could be very distracting while you giving your presentation. And you need to use appropriate graphics if you want to use some images or graphics inside your during your presentation. You make sure you select the appropriate graphic that could actually help you, deliver your objectives. We have a lot of projection screen styles and types. Let's go ahead, and the one that we had in a cross matte white screen, it's a thick white color that could help us actually. All the screen projection screen is a white it's white color to make sure the picture is clear and the slides are actually very easy to read and understand. And we have the glass beaded screen, which is display better visual than matte screen, work best in small and long room. And we will have some pictures of these kinds. As you can see here, this is the screen, and when you put the screen, it's not actually randomly selected in this position. You need to put the screen at the middle of your audience so everybody would actually see. And if you can see here, figure 1, all of these audience can read what's inside this screen. And this is the matte screen we have discussed about, and this is the all types of screen. And this is actually a quota for an equation to calculate the appropriate size of the screen, but this is actually not included in the final exam, the screen size and so on. So as we can see here in this picture, which one do you prefer? And why? I need only one to answer my question. Which one do you prefer from these images? Anyone? Guys? All right. I personally prefer this one because it's in the middle of the class. Everybody would actually straight look at the screen. And here, for example, this one, you need to turn your neck to make sure actually you are able to see. This is not included. These pictures are only for you to understand how or what is the correct way to place the projection inside the room. This exercise, I'll give it to you after we finish in e-learning. And I'm actually going to talk about one more topic this class, because we need to make sure that we have covered all topics before 21st of May. We are going to talk about audio in education. Not all the slides though, but I'll just explain what's important for you. So, as we all know, listening is the most important uh, activity inside our classroom. Everything depends on listening. When you want to teach a very small baby the language, you do not actually act or teach them grammar or show them pictures. You only speak to them. So this is actually the way that babies learn, by listening. So listening is the most important, uh, you know, activity for us to learn as a human being. So based on that, audio in education is very important. Audio is very everything in education. This is how we communicate with each other, whether it's teachers, student, and student back to their teachers. So 50% of the students inside the school, they spend 50% of their time only listening. This shows you how important listening is. And listening includes both hearing and comprehending audio. And to make sure that we are using an effective listening for learning, it should include accurate hearing, focused listening, reinforcement to stimulate neural connections. You, as a teacher, when you go to your class, you need to speak uh, loudly. Your voice should be understood by all the students. If you are giving your lecture in a foreign language, you need to ask your student, is my language clear? Do you understand my language? Can I do anything for you to understand? And you want to make sure to ask them regular questions so that it will inform you that they are actually listening to you. All right. And for the audio, we actually use it when student learning will be enhanced from listening to key political speeches. We can give the student inside our classrooms. We can bring, for example, a recorder and then play a cassette, for example, or CD to, if you are teaching a kindergarten or grade 1 and 2, you could bring some songs for them to learn the language. You want to, for example, teach them some of the animals' sounds. All right. You need to uh, teach them the right pronunciation. For example, if you want to teach them English, you could actually bring your CD with you and then play the sound for the students so they could understand how certain words are pronounced and so on. For the advantages, it's very simple. It's very easy to carry out inside the class. And actually, it does not cost anything. You can download all the sounds you want from the internet. And you actually can reproduce anything you want. You can record yourself doing this and that. And it provides verbal message. And it actually could help the student to stimulate, I mean, to live again inside that moment. If you, for example, if you are an English teacher, you would bring a CD about, a conversation, for example. And then if you play this conversation CD for the students, all of the students or most of the students will live inside this story. When they start hearing this CD, they will live inside this story. So it's very actually helping for the students to. And for the limitation, there are some copyrights, not all the sounds that we can use. You cannot guarantee the students' attention at all time. There could be some maintenance work at school, so there will be noise, all right? I'm just skipping the slides, so I just want to make sure I'm giving you the important slides only. And here you can actually read this types of audio that we can use inside a classroom. For example, streaming audio that we use internet, whether it's emails and then we have podcasting, internet audio, portable digital audio, and then audio recorder. And we have a lot of audio format. We have analog audio and digital audio. What do we mean by digital audio and analog audio? Digital, it's a digital recording. Sounds are transformed into binary information. It has been recorded using digital machines. You need to make sure you are able to differentiate between digital audio and analog. And here are some of the format: WAV, MP4, MP3, and REAL. These are some of the pictures for MP3 players. These actually, all the information in this slide are for your information. I mean the pictures, the images. So you only need to read them through. You just want to make sure that you understand everything in the slides. So good listening skills make teachers more productive. The ability to listen carefully will allow teachers to build rapport with your students, show support, work better. For example, if you have a good tone of voice, you have a good language, when you enter the class, everything would, listen. So listening is actually very important in your teaching and learning classroom, and it will make sure that it will make you as a teacher more productive. Here, I was planning to play an audio inside the class and then ask you some questions about this audio, but we actually couldn't do that because we are not meeting face to face. And here are some of the microphone types. All right, you just read it through. All these microphone types is not including in your final exam. So I actually gave these two slides in one class today because not all the information that is very important. So that's all for today. Please, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. And I'm wondering, why do we have 28 only? We have like 17 absent students. That's a huge number. Can anyone speak, please? I'm going to print screen the names. All right, for today's class. And for the others, the other 17 that who didn't attend, they should have, at least let me know before the class. So I'm just going to take these names now. All right. We have 28. Anybody could speak, please? Guys, I'm talking to you.
Yes, doctor.
Yes. What's your name?
Ahmad Farhan.
All right. Go ahead.
Some students cannot attend the class because tonight they take a bus.
Oh, going back to their village.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. All right. Thank you very much for clearing that out. Otherwise, I should have,
Okay, doctor.
Okay, no problem, no problem. All right, Ahmed,
Yes.
any question about our classes today?
For now, I think no.
Everything clear?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Anybody else? I have actually submitted the final exam questions. It's 40 multiple choice questions, and that's why I'm telling you guys, you need to read all the slides. There's nothing out of these slides. Nothing. No, not only one single question. So if you read all the topics, all the slides, I'm sure you are going to do okay. Anybody else would like to share anything before I end this session? And for today, I'm going to upload this video in e-learning, not YouTube. I have recorded this class. Anybody would like to speak before I end the meeting? All right. If you have any question anytime, please do ask me, and I hope you are safe. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.